Hey there, it's Mark Yegge, and I am sitting in New Zealand. And I just decided to freestyle this video. And the reason I'm doing it is because I put up a post about Australia because I was there a week ago or something like that. And a friend of mine who I haven't seen in a long time on Facebook says, God, you have the greatest life. And I know this guy, and his name is Jason, and I'll leave it at that. And he's a great guy, really great guy. But he has made choices. And when you make choices, you have to live with the consequences, right? So every choice, every decision in life has maintenance and consequences. And so this is part of the thing. If you make a choice to have a kid or two or four, right? You have to live with those choices. And you have to give up other choices. So every yes is a no to something, and every no is a yes, potential yes to something else. And so I made a choice a long time ago that I wasn't going to have kids. Do I regret it? Because sometimes people ask me that. You know, most of the time, no. Every once in a while, I'm like, God, it'd be kind of cool to have a kid. But it'd also be cool to have a pet, and it'd be cool to have a lot of different things. I don't have a lot of things. I'm not attached to a lot of things. I made a decision a few years ago when I looked around and realized that it wasn't the stuff around me that made a difference. It wasn't even some of the people that I had around me at the time that made a difference. It was what was I giving back to the world? Was I living on purpose? And was I creating? And was I happy, right? So I realized that I could, I had all this stuff. Like, I've had planes. I still have a plane. I want to get rid of it, by the way. I've had boats. I've had houses on the water. I've had, all the stuff, all the nice cars. None of that makes you happy. It's all temporary. And here's what makes me happy. And this is why I made choices a few years ago to go after what makes me happy. What makes me happy is laughing. Right? What makes me happy is smiling. What makes me happy is seeing other people's eyes light up when they have an experience, right? Whether it's an experience where they're learning something new, or they're having an experience where they're experiencing something new, or traveling somewhere with me where I've been there before and I get to see them experience it again. It's kind of like if you're a parent. This is the best analogy that I have on it is if you're a parent, you've done a lot of stuff, but then when your kid experiences it, sees Mickey Mouse for the first time or sees snow for the first time, this makes a big difference for you. So I decided that was what I wanted to pursue. In the past, what I'd been doing, and I'd been quote unquote successful by all the other standards, but I just had never really been on a purpose to help other people. And I heard Tony Robbins talk about this 20 years ago. He goes, it's about contribution. And I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds nice. And, like everybody that doesn't have a lot of money or doesn't have a lot of resources, doesn't have a lot of success, you always go, yeah, well, when I get there, that's when I'll be Mr. Magnanimous and I'll give back, or that's when I'll volunteer my time, or I'll write big checks to the church or whatever. But, he was right, and anybody that said it before him is right. It's doing it during the process. And so I started doing it during the process, and I started figuring out ways to give back, and I realized that it wasn't about chasing the money. Now, it has downsides, okay? So I'm sitting here, I've been gone for 4.5 months on a round the world trip. And they say the air is thin at top. It's thin at the top. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people are like, man, that sounds awesome. And I'm like, well, come along. Come along. I'd love to have people with me that would be able to do this. I'm doing what's called slow matting, right? And I am a digital nomad because I can work off my laptop, and that's all choices too. I made choices to move everything onto my laptop and onto the cloud so I could go anywhere in the world that I wanted. And as long as I had an internet connection, even sometimes without an internet connection, I could make it happen. That was a difficult set of choices that I had to make. I had to sell a lot of things. I had to move around a lot of things, right? Including people, including things, and I think, just stuff that I had in my life that were taking maintenance, right? Maintenance. And anybody can do this, because I did this when I was, like 52 years old or something like that. I was like, you know what? I want to travel around the world and I want to pursue my purpose. So I have these freedoms. I center my life around 5 freedoms. And I've talked about this in some other videos. But the first one is financial freedom. So the way to get financial freedom is you have to play offense and you have to play a little defense. And so the offense is making money, right? So you have to figure out a way to make money for you. Now, I believe that everybody should have their own business, either a side hustle or their own business that they run, because so many other things come together through it. Your creativity, your productivity, your sense of purpose, your spirituality even comes through it when you're pushing yourself at times that you don't want to push. But besides that, I think you have to play offense. And some people choose to play offense by working a 9-to-5 job. Well, that has a consequence, right? A 9-to-5 job is great. I haven't had one in a long time, but it does serve a purpose for a lot of people. For me, it's a temporary purpose, right? Because in the beginning, you have your 9-to-5 job and you make enough money to put food on the table, but you've got to get away from that chain. But what happens is you end up going through what I call life stages. And the first life stage is, you end up getting a car and you got a payment. You get a house, you got a payment. You have a kid, you got a payment, right? You've got an anchor, and these are all anchors. They're all payments. They're all tentacles that keep you from living the life that you want to live. Now, if that's the life you want to live, that's awesome. But don't say to me, "Oh, you live a great life," and I wish I could do that, because you can if you want, but you just have to give something else up. And so when you play offense, you score points. But when you play defense, you save money, for lack of a better term. I mean, there's a lot of other ways to say it, but I'm just going to say, you've got to scrimp and save, right? And you do that because that helps you put more money into your investments, and it also helps you live cheap, right? So, one of the knocks on me that people say is that I'm frugal. And about every millionaire or billionaire that I know of at one point in his life was frugal, until they became so wealthy that it didn't matter anymore. And that frugality, to me, has led me to being in a life where I don't owe anybody anything. I have one business debt that is it's a loan on a piece of property. Everything else is all cash. So I don't have that maintenance. Every car that I own and have owned is all cash. And so I don't have any of that. The only things I have are, the usual payments, the phone payments, some insurance, car payments, some taxes on the place that I do own, which I don't spend much time at, but I don't have a mortgage on it. And so that's the defense, is how can you cram down the amount that you're spending such that you can put that towards offense, and eventually the amount of money that you make can offset that 9-to-5 income, and then you don't have to work for the living. You can work for purpose. That leads me to my second freedom. So the first one is financial freedom. The second one is purpose freedom. So I'm now free to chase after my purpose, right? To why am I here? And I'm here to help a lot of other people figure out that there's more to life than what they may be experiencing. So I'm just trying to show them that. I think that's part of why I'm here. I don't completely know exactly, but I think it's helping people, and it's helping people understand that there's way more to life, and that they have the chance, because they have the choice, to have more in their life if they want it. So what's that? Financial freedom, and then purpose freedom. I also have location freedom. So here I am in New Zealand. I spent the whole day on a motorcycle. I rented, and it's the greatest way to see a country, by the way. And I saw geysers today, and I saw ice caps on a couple of mountains, even in the middle of the summer. It's kind of funky. I saw some thermal pools, some mud pools. I've never seen mud pools, bubbling up mud. It was really awesome. And that's what kind of lights me up. Plus, I met some cool people here along the way. The Kiwis are really cool people. And so I'm a little tired, but I thought, I was thinking about this today as I was riding around. I was thinking about Jason's comment about, "Oh, you have a really cool life. I would love to have your life." You can have it, Jason, by the way. You just got to make some choices. So Jason's choice is he's in real estate, and he's a real estate agent, and he hasn't figured out the whole "I'm going to have my team do the work" kind of thing yet, I don't think, because I haven't talked to him in a while. Maybe he has. So those are three freedoms. So we've got financial freedom, we've got location freedom, and we have purpose freedom. The next one is people freedom. So this is a big one for people, is that you know how you got to spend time with people you just don't really want to be around, right? Maybe they suck the life out of you, or maybe they're negative, or maybe they just don't have the same values, or they're not a lot of things in common. And so you don't but you kind of put up with them. Well, I've really made a move to eliminate those people in my life. And I know it sounds really mean or crazy or whatever, but we're only here for a few short years. We better freaking figure out a way to enjoy them, right? And so for me, I would rather be by myself than be around people I don't like to be around, right? Because when for example, I'm around people that talk a lot, and I'm one of those people on a video right now that it talks a lot, so pot calling the kettle black. But when people talk a lot and they talk about nonsense or they gossip or they talk about negative things, they talk about stupid little things, which little small talk drives me crazy. It's fine in the beginning, a little bit of weather, a little bit of sports, but after a while, like, I want to talk about meaningful things in life, like what makes people tick, and I want to have some deeper conversations. And maybe that's just me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's just me. And when people fill up the air with their voice and things that are not interesting, it takes away my ability to think about the things that I want to think about. So I want to put people in front of me, or I want to be in front of people that can inspire me and talk about cool things about, what's great about their life and what they're going for, their dreams and their desires. That's what I want. And if I don't get that, I'd rather be alone. And being alone has a lot of benefits. You got to be, first of all, really good with yourself before you can be good with other people. And I've been in great relationships, and I've been in some lousy ones. You got to, first of all, love yourself. But second of all, when you're alone, like, decisions are easy. Like, I just got up this morning. I said, I'm going to go to this place. It looks really nice. It's on the lake here in New Zealand, after I go see some geysers and some waterfalls and some other things. And that was a decision I made this morning. I didn't have to consult anybody. I packed up and I left. So there's some benefits to that. The other side of that is, it would be nice to have somebody on this trip with me. But, that's I'm really enjoying this trip. So there's no regrets at all. I don't have any regrets in my life because everything I'm doing has a purpose. And the last freedom is really time freedom, because I wake up when I want to wake up. People are like, oh, you don't have to work. Yeah, I do. I work, right? I have several businesses that I run. I realized a long time ago that having free time to think about those businesses allows me to be more creative. I'm in flow when I'm creative. I produce better when I'm creative, and therefore I'm more productive when I'm creative. So I get a lot of things done in just a few hours a day. And I do it all from my laptop, and I do it from really cool places. But this was the choice that I made a few years ago. So why am I telling you all this? I don't really know. I'm just kind of freestyling it. But I'm just kind of answering Jason's question about, almost really easy for you, nice life you live, whatever. Or maybe he was just genuinely saying it, but I've been thinking about it all day on the bike, so I thought I'd put it on video. And if you want to do anything in life, anything, you've got to just make a choice. And it's daunting at first, because making a choice sometimes means that you have to say no to a lot of things, right? You might have to say no to somebody that's an average spouse, or an average, not spouse, but maybe, boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, because you want to say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. That's a choice that you have to make. And if you want to live a life of mediocrity, like I think it was Oscar Wilde that said most people live lives of quiet desperation, then you don't have to make choices. So I have a saying in life, everybody has pain, right? So you either have the pain of not going to the gym, or the pleasure of not going to the gym and sitting on the couch and eating Cheetos and donuts and whatever, and then you don't have a relationship because nobody wants to be with you because you're a fat slob, right? That's pain. Or you have the pain of getting up and going to the gym and being in really good shape and having energy and being attractive. Not that being skinny or fat is the definition of attractive, but you know what I'm saying. Both of them, there's pain. So you get to choose your pain, right? Some people choose the pain. I don't have enough leverage to get out of this relationship, so I'm just going to stay in it. And then they realize 30 years later that they've been in a shitty relationship, and they chose that, right? They could have chosen to go on and do something else, but they chose that. That was the pain they chose, because they didn't want to address the pain that they had right then and make a really painful decision because of the uncertainty of that pain. So let me wrap this up by saying that, we all have choices. And this is like the theme that keeps coming back to me. And if you're still listening, I want you to learn from it, because I want your choice to be your choice. And I want you to think through, what do you really want in life? Most people never sit down and think about it. We had this event at my mastermind group called Light Circle, and the event was called Your Greatest Year. And I was so excited because I brought in these really great speakers, and they really were good. It was a really good event. I was just amazed at how, and I thought I got the word out pretty well. People just didn't want to take 10 hours to work on their life. We just didn't get the turnout that we thought we were going to get. And I wasn't disappointed because it was a monetary thing, whatever. I lost money on it. But the point was, I put this whole event together and I thought, wow, we're going to be able to help people change their lives, to help people sit down and think about what they want for the whole year. It was called Your Greatest Year. Wouldn't that be cool to have your greatest year? Anyway, so I just was amazed. People would rather scroll Instagram and look at, girls in bikinis or funny cat videos or whatever, or argue about politics, than they would to take 10 hours to plan out their life for the year. And I'm always amazed at that. So if you're still listening, by the way, congratulations and thank you, because you're at least taking your life seriously. But go to the next level. What do you want? What do you want? Not what you don't want. What do you want? Make a decision about what you want. Make a choice about what you want. And write down what the consequences of those choices are going to be, good and bad. Because there's going to be some good ones and there's going to be some bad ones. And then decide that you're going to do it. And clear off the slate. Get rid of the phlegm. Get rid of the, Game of Thrones binging, 10 hours on the weekend, when that's 10 hours that you could be working on your life or your business or yourself, right? Investing in yourself, or investing in your finances, investing in your health, whatever, right? Most people are I'm in New Zealand, right? I'm not watching Game of Thrones. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes you want to do that. But if you're spending 10 hours a week watching Netflix or TV or Fox or CNN or sports, that's your life. That's your choice. You can continue to make that choice. You can look yourself in the face and go, you know what? I really enjoy the Chicago Bears. I'm going to keep watching the Chicago Bears. That's what I like. So you're going to spend, 4 hours, and then you're going to watch the post game, and you're going to watch this, and you're going to watch the, the guys on ESPN talk about the game, and then the coaching things, and then you're going to watch the draft, and your life, you're going to spend 100 hours on the Chicago Bears next year. That's fine. That's a great choice. Just know that that's why you're not getting to the level that you want to get, maybe, because those 100 hours could be, working toward some other investment in yourself. So I'll end it with that. I'll just say, listen, if you want to be serious about your life, make a choice. Sit down and actually think about it. And by the way, you should surround yourself with some people that are going to support you and encourage you and be there to cheer you on, instead of people that are going to be pulling you down going, oh, you shouldn't try to do that. That'll never work. Put some good people in your life. It's really important. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. See you later. This has been Mark from New Zealand. Maybe I'll see you in the next country. Bye.
Unleash the power of transformation with insights from Light Circle. Dive into your journey of growth with our free ebook, 10 Steps to 10 Times Your Life. Embark on a path to extraordinary living. Click to download your free copy today and start scaling new heights of success. Start on your path to creating a beautiful life. Click the link to download your free copy today and start scaling new heights of success.